guys, this week on the AwesomeCast, Mike Munz joins us in studio. We're talking about Xbox Smart Glass, Black Ops 2 problems, Navy SEALs in hot water, Google+, missed elections, B&B, good stuff, bad stuff, whole bunch of stuff. AwesomeCast.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Hey guys, it's the AwesomeCast number 127 from the studios here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
And a half.
And a half. What? A half what?
Half show.
A half show?
Yes.
When did we do a half show?
127 and a half.
127 and a third.
No.
No. I'm Mike Sorg. I'm the guy on the couch now. And we're going to talk tech. Behind the board with me, as usual, is Chachi. At Chachi Says on the Twitter. And, of course, of InsertCoinToBegin.com.
Hello.
Say something for the audio people.
I did. I said hello.
How you doing, Josh?
I am all right.
Okay.
I am enjoying this 127 and a half
Okay.
episode of AwesomeCast.
I don't even know how to make the half sign. Also with us, back again, stranger to the Skypes, very patriotic, strategically placed head, is Rob De La Creta. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I still get my feed still isn't updating. So
Yeah, your feed definitely is not updating anymore. I don't know.
It's not updating for the chat room either.
It's not updating for the. Well, yeah, no, yeah. It's
Is it broken?
No. It's our end. It looks like.
Am I a static image at this point?
You're a static image at this point.
God damn it! It's a shame because I'm very. I've got a theme going on here because I'm wearing my motorcycle jacket, which is denim. I'm wearing a Mackinac flannel shirt, red and black, classic. I have red and black flannel behind me, an American flag to my right, and a Mike Montero quote somewhere in the frame.
Yes,
somewhere.
You definitely have the lumberjack look going on.
Yes,
A little bit. So, yeah, so this is the awesome... Oh, man, I might let you guys take this over. This is going to hurt. This is the AwesomeCast where we like to talk about tech, social media,
You sound
the
like you're in so
internet.
much pain.
I am a little bit. It's tickling. It's tickling a little
It's
bit.
really entertaining.
I mean, it's that point. I'm not, like, sick. It's just, like, it was raining and, you know, they got the sinus problems because the weather can't decide if it's 80 or 40.
Yeah, it was so to catch up the listeners and whatever. It was like 67 or 65 yesterday.
People are walking around in tank tops. Chachi, I can hear all that.
Can you?
Chachi, yeah, I can hear all that jingle
And then
jangle
I
going
wake
on
up
in your
this
drawer.
morning and my phone tells me that it was 32 degrees outside.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. So, so either way, my body has noticed, and it's very unhappy with that because I'm one of those people. So, so there's that. So here I am after talking all day, and now I'm here to talk to you about stuff I want to talk about. Yay! So let's get with it. Of course, this is the AwesomeCast. Please check us out. We're at AwesomeCast.com. If that gets fixed any day, I gotta get on that one. Maybe I'll just move to Squarespace. You never know.
Is my website back?
You're back? Did it go away?
Chachi plays.
Oh no, yeah, that one needs fixed too. That also we might want to.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we'll fix that here soon. Of course, we're here live every Tuesday, live.sorgatronmedia.com around 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can drop us an email at contact@awesomecast.com, or we're also on Twitter at AwesomeCast. We're on Facebook. We're on Google+. Please drop us a line. We do respond, or at least read everything. Sometimes there's no response. Sometimes you just kind of nail it on the head, and there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. I had a note here. Well, first I have a note here from Mr. The Fuzz. Right?
The Fuzz?
The right? Well, he chatted me. He said, I won't be on tonight, but you may want to mention the 32GB Nexus 10 and Nexus 4 are both sold out. Nexus 4 was sold out in 25 minutes. Of course, I think these are only available up on the Play Store. I think they went live today, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, the 10-inch version and the Nexus 4 is, of course, the new phone edition of the Nexus. So yeah, those went pretty quick. I can't imagine those being very large numbers in general, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the point here is to not be sensationalist about it. And, like, I could make 4 of something and they could sell out very easily because there's only 4.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and in contrast this, there's also reports. I didn't put this in the rundown, but since this came up, I think it's probably appropriate. There's who's a guy, Steve Ballmer, was talking about modest sales of the Microsoft Surface, which he's not one to really kind of underplay things usually. If not, he's the other way. So what does that mean? And again, Surface, you can't really expect the Surface to be doing any iPad-like numbers either, because they're only available online. You know, much like this was only available online to begin with. The Surface is only available online and at several pop-up stores across the country.
And at the legitimate Microsoft stores.
And at the Microsoft stores, which how many of those are there?
74.
Did I tell you that I went to one?
Ooh, because you were in LA lately.
Yeah. I was in that horrible part of the country.
What was it like?
Well, so here's the way it happened. I was my hotel was next to this like very high-end mall with a Juicy Couture and a Louis Vuitton and all that good stuff. And
Did you buy me a purse?
along-
Did they have an Orange Julius?
Yes, they did have an Orange Julius.
Nice.
I'm walking along and I see something that looks remarkably like an Apple store, and there was an umbrella in the way or something, and I see in the window it has this big vinyl text thing that says Microsoft Windows 8. And then I look up and I see the giant Microsoft flag. And if you're following me on the internets, you would have You would have sawn. I don't think I've ever accidentally said sawn instead of seen. Past tense did see. You would have seen a picture of the front of a Microsoft store and me saying, "Oh my God, they do actually exist." Like they weren't making it up. In case you thought they were, like I was. The Microsoft store does exist, and it looks exactly like an Apple store. However, there's no people inside.
So that's the key difference.
That's the key difference, because there was actually, I mean, they're about the same size. They're laid out very similarly. They're decorated very similarly. The key difference literally was that there was 20 people in the Microsoft store, and there was 80 people in the Apple store.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it was the usual Apple store where it's packed, like edge to edge. You can't move around. All the reps are busy. The Microsoft store, people are standing around twiddling their thumbs. But so I see that there's a Microsoft Surface on the table, so I'm going to go check it out. And the whole time, like, I've been looking at the promotions and making fun of Microsoft because it's easy. But I expected to, at the very least, be impressed by the hardware. And, you go up to the tablet or whatever, and you want to lift it up, but you don't want to be that guy that tries to lift up the thing that's actually like securely attached to the table. So you like look around to make sure it's not like bolted down. And then I went to lift it up and it felt like it was attached to the table. And then I actually lifted it up and I realized it was just that heavy.
Wow.
Yeah. Like
remember,
really actually heavy. I was severely disappointed with it.
I don't remember it being that heavy.
It looks like an iPad 1.
I don't know if you saw, we had, Chilla was here last week with a Microsoft Surface here in studio. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember it being that heavy.
It's heavy enough to be like, this is weird, especially with the cover on it. The cover probably adds a good
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, it's not a full keyboard, but I mean, it has that, it's got more to it for sure. Okay. What about, did you get to play with it a bit more to kind of get an idea what you thought of it?
Yeah, I played with it. I mean, the interface is neat, but overall, I don't like it.
Because I had an interesting discussion this week. I was talking with my wife, and we were kind of discussing. Okay, it's about that time. Do we do we upgrade our iPads? It's been like 2 years. Christmas bonuses are coming on and everything like that. And we really looked at it and just like, well, one, we determined really we don't need new iPads. They kind of do everything we want. If not anything, we'll get keyboards for our iPads we have, which are dirt cheap when you're looking for stuff for iPad 1, by the way. But the other thing was, I was like, well, you're about to potentially for a laptop or maybe handing it down to your mother because she needs some stuff because her computers are on the last legs. So... what would you want for a laptop? And we talked about a MacBook Air, and she says I'm actually kind of considering a Microsoft Surface. So she needs to look at it, but from what she's been seeing from it, she's interested. So the commercials are doing their job at least. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean I was interested too until I actually had one in my hand, and it's also like. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is a stark difference from the iPad, which may not be a bad thing for some people because it's basically. Remember how the iPad 1 had all those square corners?
Working on it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
First time caller. So the iPad 1 had like all those square corners. It feels really bulky. When you put the iPad 3 next to the iPad 1, the iPad 1 looks like a tank.
Yeah.
And the Microsoft Surface definitely has more of a tank feel to it, whereas the iPad 3 feels more like a sheet of glass accented by a sheet of aluminum.
Exactly. I think we're set up. Sir, are we set up for that?
Yeah.
All right, there we are. Hey, look who's here. Mike Munz joins us in studio, sneaking in. How you doing?
Doing pretty good today, Mike, and yourself.
Is this mic on?
It is now.
Hey.
Hey, sounds good.
There he is. Oh, we got to put headphones on. Here. You're only going to hear out one ear on that one, probably. So you hear us? You hear us all right? Hear us all right? You good? 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 All right.
There we go.
There you go. We were talking about Microsoft Surface. The Nexus 10s and 4s all sold out like really quick today. Have you been looking at anything for Surface or anything?
Well, I'll tell you what, I started looking at the Surface just because I'm getting sick of the same old options out there. I mean, what's iPad done for me lately? What's any Android tablet done for me lately? I mean, essentially after you root it, you put on whatever operating system you want, you can pretty much max out there. So I am kind of happy that there are some new options out there. The Surface looks the most attractive because I know the least about it. So it gives me an opportunity to go back out, break it again, try and fix it, and see where it can take me. As for the Nexus, I mean, once again, it's an Android system, so pretty much you can tap out on a phone, on any tablet you want. I have the Galaxy S3. I'm running Jelly Bean on it. What more do I want from Android? What more can I get from Android than that? So, yeah, I'm really excited about the Surface, and I'd like to see a couple other people start to come out with some more interactive tablets. I think I caught the commercial with the English blokes where the girl flips the netbook over and it's got a tablet screen on the back of the top. That's
going to be the interesting thing is these laptops that come out. Because now we have this, but now all those weird form factor like tablet, phablet / laptop things are like they have something to work off of. You know, that we saw 2 years ago. It's like, oh, touch is coming. They're all trying to compete with the iPad by making their own thing. Now we have a base for that, and it would make sense. And you're really not losing computer power, I wouldn't think, when you actually do something like that. So, yeah.
We're at the point where the hardware to do that, because we've had like modular tablet PC things for a decade, and they've all been terrible. But just in the last year have the displays gotten light enough and cheap enough that you can actually create something that is as thin as a usable tablet.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think at some point, though, we're seeing a crossover now, maybe like a mutation of where a tablet is getting the force of a nice small netbook or a nice small laptop, and vice versa. You know, laptops are becoming thinner and smaller and, you know, more cloud-based, and tablets are pretty much just a smaller, thinner netbook with a rubber keyboard at this point.
So, also going on out there, speaking of tablets, I got to play a good bit at the end of the show. Was it after the show or after Let's Play last week, Chachi, where we saw that they released the Smart Glass?
It was at the end of the show.
At the end of the show, we were, and after you guys just posted a couple of days earlier, I think, about Smart Glass maybe not coming up until next year for the iOS. So we got to play with. I got to play with it a little bit. I played a bit with it. The big promise with this Smart Glass, other than the whole media thing, was that Internet Explorer on my Xbox on my TV would make sense, right? Because I mean, if you use the Wii browser, any other kind of web browser, I think there's one on Sony PlayStation 3.
There's browsers all over different places.
I had the one on my Sega Saturn, the Dreamcast. I mean, they've all been.
Blu-ray player has one,
and they have all been really horrible experiences, right? Like really, really sad experiences. So this is taken, and I was using it with my iPad 1 again, and it gives you a service. So you it's pretty much like a trackpad mouse for your Internet Explorer on your TV. You can type everything on there. You have all your functions and everything. You can do kind of a little bit of gestures to work with the Internet Explorer thing. I have a series of... I watched some of my wrestling videos on the site that actually work. Daily Motion works. So you can see how I'm getting my wrestling videos. So Daily Motion does work on this. But again, stuff like YouTube, stuff like Hulu's not going to work. Typically, it seemed like if it was something that made things work for an iPhone, it will work here, except for YouTube and stuff like that. They're not identifying that somehow, but they have their own app, so it's not really a big deal. Like I said, I think I've mentioned on the show before, I went through the list of sites, the video sites that I would check out, and the first one I got to work were that I could think of were porn sites. Like I don't know if RedTube was one of them, but something like that, you know, like there's a million of them these days, and those guys are like, we're gonna make sure we work on Xbox. They're always the first ones.
It's fast too. I heard.
I tried that.
It's pretty decent. Yeah, it works. So yeah, we're guys. Okay, we all tried that. You know, it's inevitable.
I installed Internet Explorer on my Xbox. Yeah, on my Xbox, and I'm like, well, let's test this thing out.
Yeah. What can I think of to bring up? Why would I use this thing? That was the other question I had, was why would I use this browser on my Xbox, right? Like, why wouldn't I just... I mean,
for no good at all.
For no good at all, yeah. Apparently, I've not found a legitimate reason that is not, you know, to some
illegal movies,
illegal videos or pornography for this thing. I mean, I could go look at Twitter and
other websites.
I went to other websites, but then I go to like other website and be like, why would I do this on a TV?
Right.
You know, what am I going to do with this thing except like find other sites with video? And the only options you gave me are the sites that have illegal movies and porn. So way to go, Internet Explorer. The other interesting thing is I pulled it up. I was watching a little bit of Netflix. I watched The Fighter and I watched The Warrior the other day. Both really good movies, by the way. And violent, yeah. But I got to play a little bit with the Discovery that they have along with that. So I'll bring up other movies, not necessarily in Netflix, but then it pulls up, and I'll pull up, like a lot of them will have like 3 to 6 to 7 different services you can also look at, you know, check that movie out on the Xbox. And some of them will be like, okay, this one's on Netflix, but you can also buy it from this, and this service. You know, like Amazon Prime, like Vudu's a big one that has everything. So far, I haven't played with anything that has the actual, like Game of Thrones, you can see the map, you know, interactivity or sports scores or anything like that yet. I just haven't had the opportunity to find anything. But I'm pretty happy with the promise there. And the fact that they're putting it on basically everything.
Everything.
Android.
My Blu-ray player has a complete virtual dashboard in it. Pandora built in, Netflix built in, a browser built in. My Blu-ray player does.
But it sucks. Right?
It sucks so bad. It's so clunky. I
think this is going to be this could potentially be an answer to this. So what was promised at E3 finally coming true. So what do you think, Chachi? I know you downloaded. You didn't get a chance to get into it.
I haven't had a chance to play with
it. But what do you think of this concept as kind of bridging that entertainment/internet gap even more so to your video games?
We'll see when it works.
I don't think there's been any video games with anything out, but
there's nothing yet.
That's the promise, though, right? So,
well, I mean, they promised a lot of stuff, but I mean,
getting the developers to do it is another thing. Like, I'm surprised this isn't built into like the new Call of Duty or Halo 4 or something like that. Especially Halo 4, since that's a Microsoft thing. So it really feels like they kind of threw this together over the summer.
They wouldn't have built it into the new Call of Duty yet.
No.
They're already putting too much stuff in the new Call of Duty.
They already have a problem making sure they got the right copy of the game going out to people. The guy was telling you before the show. You hear about this?
Too.
No, what's up?
Apparently some people went out, got their Call of Duty Black Ops 2 at midnight last night, got it home, stuck in Disc 2. It's Mass Effect 2 Disc 2.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I guess from the sounds of it...
punitive damage.
From the sounds of it, it seems that, well, you know, all these are from... And Mass Effect's a different publisher. We're going like Activision to EA, right? Apparently, they all manufacture their discs pretty much through the same manufacturer. So apparently this happens every once in a while, and it just happened on a really, really big release, and some people caught wind of it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Chachi, can we talk about one more video game related story here while we're on this beat?
Oh, you mean the one that the Navy SEALs got in trouble for consulting on Medal of Honor?
Yeah, you've been reading up on this one? No.
Well, there's absolutely nothing to read up on.
Okay.
If anything, they should have been smart enough to realize that they're not allowed to consult on video games.
Well, they are allowed to consult on video games
if they have permission.
If they have permission. And the sad part is, this is apparently the team that went and shot Bin Laden.
Which is exactly why they're not allowed to consult on video games.
Yeah.
They're single-handedly responsible for one of the most important missions that the Navy SEALs have been put in charge of. And so now they're just going to go and talk to Treyarch about EA about Medal of Honor.
There's their go-to move on how to get into a compound.
Yeah.
It's one of those where they've, like I said, supposedly the big stink over this is they didn't go through the proper channels in order to do this. So they actually just went and got directly contacted and just went and did this.
But look at the reprimand. It kind of makes sense from their standpoint. If they would have asked, they would have been told no. They would have gotten no kind of PR, no kind of anything out of it. Now that they did ask, they got slapped on the wrist, but the royalties are going to supersede that.
Well, they got slapped on the. They got a little more than slapped on the wrist. They got. I think it's 2 months half pay, and they have a letter that's going to be in their file, which is going to seriously detriment. No, seriously, this is going to seriously detriment them from getting a promotion.
I killed Bin Laden. I screwed up and helped on a video game.
Actually, only one of them killed Bin Laden.
Well, I mean,
But
it's a team effort. That's why there's SEAL team. There's no I in Navy SEALs.
It says in the article that only one of the team members was on the squad that killed Bin Laden.
Oh, okay.
So only that one is going to be like...
Letter.
What?
You lead with that letter first. That's the first one in the file. I killed Bin Laden. Yeah, but...
This thing where I revealed some classifieds or didn't get permission to talk to EA about a stupid video game. And the fact that this came out, I think 2 weeks after the game even came out. So, and it's not like SEALs haven't consulted before. Even this article here with The Verge, it talks about...
I didn't notice this. It says they were paid.
Yeah, they're paid.
Well, that's the problem.
That's not completely
That's what I said. The fine far out, it's lopsided.
Yeah, that money belongs to the military.
I think it's mostly coming down to
money belongs to the
permission.
people.
So,
that's what it is. They took a side job. They can't take a side job. Their asses belong to the government.
Double dipping.
That's true. So, there's an election a week ago.
No, you mean the one that I watched live on air?
Yeah, and then
got
he
a
left
headache.
It up and had me stuck on.
It got a headache because the websites hurt my head.
There's a lot of numbers.
You guys are talking about the best cupcakes in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. Of course we are.
Oh, okay.
So the Obama victory celebration apparently did not extend to Google Plus, according to Mashable.com. So we all got our most posted, most retweeted tweet of 4 more years. We got all the other pictures and everything on Twitter, on Facebook,
Instagram.
Probably Instagram, most likely Instagram.
I think that picture came from Instagram.
But apparently Google Plus did not know that the president was reelected. No. Apparently, Google Plus, they were active for most of the election day here, according to, again, Mashable. Getting all the updates, just like everything else. But apparently, in their excitement, they forgot to update that he actually won. The feed's most recent post, as of this writing, I think the next day was, as of Wednesday afternoon, was "It's time to go vote." Posted Tuesday morning.
Well, on that's not true. November 8th. There was an update on November 8th that said thank you.
Oh, okay. So by the time they wrote this, apparently. But they do say that
picture.
Obama.
How can't you vote for him?
Apparently, he has 2.3 million followers there on Google+. But compared to the 23 million he has on Twitter and his Facebook with 33 million likes, it's definitely on the short end of the stick as far as that goes.
It's going to stay there.
I just thought it was a very interesting kind of demonstration of how unimportant Google+.
You don't get to celebrate.
Yeah, Google Plus. Yeah, go keep talking about Android. Google Plus. Come on, though. It's been a part of it because he's done the Google Hangout thing, and they've done other things alongside. Again, this is the president that did a Ask Me Anything on Reddit. So
To go to the chat room. Tom Bobbitt brought up a good point.
What's that?
It could be considered selling government secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the long run, yeah.
And to respond to something else, he says that the others helped him get there, though, and that's the point that I was trying to bring up. The other members of the current SEAL Team 6 weren't on the team when they killed Osama.
And there's another one that's in, I think, maybe a little bit of hot water because he wrote a book on the account, like an unofficial book about the account.
He got a lot of stuff for that.
Yeah. Points from Brother Sorg here in the chat room as well. On the Xbox stuff we were talking about before, they also got rid of the Twitter and Facebook app on Xbox, which makes sense since they have the IE app now, so you can just go there. It's just not really. I never found those apps really useful in the long run. They're just like a weird way to look at your Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
So, wish they could integrate Twitter and Facebook into the guide button. You know, it would make sense since we have these live tiles on your phone and your Windows 8 Surface or Windows 8 in general that have all these updates, that they would start integrating that into the Xbox. I think you start seeing that next year when the big update comes around. Because everybody's going to be used to it from the phones and from the two people that have phones, and from everybody upgrading their Windows 8. So
I know one of them. I saw one.
What's that?
I saw one.
What?
We saw one the other night. One of the Windows phones.
Yeah.
Jenda had one.
Jenda had one. Yeah. In the wild, she was very happy with it. She's also the one that had a Palm Pre. So
that's true. She did.
She's very alternative when it comes to phones.
They come from her work, they say. So I mean, she's not the one choosing it. Her work's giving those to her.
Nice. They're giving me phones. I'd experiment a little bit. Why not? You know, I know AJ's talking about considering going Windows Phone since he's like a phone whore.
Yeah, well, you got to get around.
Yeah,
I'm about done with this S3. I don't know what else it can do. Time to move on to something else. Windows Phone's an option.
Those things are huge.
Then I'll have my Surface
I
and my
still
Windows
can't get
Phone.
over how huge these phones are. By the way, awesome case, the Game Boy case going on.
It'd be better if it worked.
We were just trying to figure out like how you would make a working one of those.
We have a business model in mind.
We were working on it, patent pending. Anyway,
you just take the insides from those old video game watches.
No, even better yet, you just turn it around so it's over the screen, cut out the one part, and then whatever app you make that's the emulator, it just lines up with that screen. No. And then there you go.
Buttons are heat
I mean,
sensitive.
it's so much easier.
So there's already a bunch of stuff like that for the iPhone.
Yeah.
We actually got the when I thought about it backwards, we thought about that phone that was in that magazine that Sean Graham had as the screen. That would work really well for it.
There you go. I was confused because I thought we talked about it before and it was an Android, and I think he said BlackBerry.
It was a BlackBerry.
It is a BlackBerry?
It is a BlackBerry.
Okay.
It is a Chinese rip-off BlackBerry.
A Chinese rip-off BlackBerry.
Official
not
name.
an actual BlackBerry, but like a rip-off.
A faux.
A faux BlackBerry.
A Fugazi.
Wow. What else we got here? I had this in here. I don't know. There's still a bunch of Hurricane Sandy articles trickling out, but I thought this was kind of cool. Did you guys know Airbnb? They're the guys that you like. If I have an extra. Maybe I'm leaving my house, like going on vacation for a week, and I want to like sell the space for somebody to kind of have as their living quarters for when they are in town or something. And that's a really horrible explanation of that, but you basically to rent your house, your property, whatever. So this site Airbnb does that.
Use your words, Mike.
It hurts so bad. I'm sorry.
Use your words.
I'm sorry.
Big boy words.
I smell smoke.
So apparently Airbnb has let kind-hearted New Yorkers offer free housing to Hurricane Sandy victims. So they're using the service, which helps you find and organize the acquisition of renting in these places and letting them do it for free for people that have a little bit extra space to help out these victims.
There's somebody else doing that too.
Who's that?
Couchsurfers.net.
Couchsurfers.net. Yeah. I think I've heard about this too. I think like the Airbnb was like more high-end version, right?
Couchsurfers was always free.
Yeah,
Couchsurfing is always free. Airbnb is based on the idea that like you have a spare room in your house and you can rent it out to people who are traveling. Like I know some friends of mine just traveled like across the country using nothing but Airbnb. They said it was the best thing ever. Incidentally, there's also an article today saying that Airbnb had contributed something like $42 million to San Francisco's economy.
Yeah, I believe it, because they're one of the cities where they first started this, right?
Mm-hmm. And it pops up all over the place, and San Francisco is certainly a destination city.
Definitely. Couchsurfing.org, it looks like.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, so travel the world and stay with friends you haven't yet met. Huh.
That seems dangerous.
Is this the thing you do when you go backpacking?
Kind of. I mean,
Sure, yeah. It's like a hostel, basically.
exactly.
Yeah. Nobody would want to stay in my house.
I'm sorry. It sounds dangerous.
Or fun.
It could be dangerous. There was articles about it, like Airbnb, where people would go rent the room and then completely trash the place, and just leave it. So
That's right.
you'll have that.
Couchsurfing is set up a lot like what it sounds like. Like you're crashing on some dude's couch or a spare bedroom if they have one.
They'll guarantee a breakfast.
I think that's the expectation, is that you do something with them, and you don't just kind of squat and run. That you kind of interact with them and the people that are there.
It's kind of like
that's the hope. I mean, you obviously don't have to. I feel like there's more danger in couch surfing than there is in Airbnb.
Yeah.
It's because there's much less of a trail with couch surfing.
Yeah.
Make it sound so vicious, like they're all going to hurt us.
Pretty much.
So one more here.
How many people have disappeared because of something like couch surfing, though?
We don't know.
Exactly.
None.
They were never heard from again.
This is like that episode of SVU where the whole surface is just like a cover-up ring for like
Organ selling.
kidney selling or sex trade.
Oh, I love the sex trade.
So I got one here. I thought this was interesting. Apple takes cue from Google, encourages employees to work on pet projects. And I did not put a link here for the story. That was awesome of me. So apparently they're doing this. They're calling the initiative Blue Sky. Encourages employees to devote some of their time to personal pet projects. From whatever article I didn't put a link to for this. Probably The Verge. So basically, it's similar to Google's 20% time policy, which lets employees spend a fifth of their time working on personal projects.
Like what? Like what kind of projects can I work on? Like fix the garden out back?
Well, no. Well, Google, like a lot of stuff we enjoy now, are 20% projects to begin with. They escape me at the moment. Rob, help me out.
I think there was some big ones. I think Gmail or something like that was.
Yeah, I felt like there was like a Gmail, like some of the big ones we've heard about. Yeah, like
So
Wait,
productive
Allergy
projects.
Talk. They all come out of pet projects, and just
Okay.
the idea is that, I mean, if you work at Google, like, you're there because you want to be there. It's kind of the same thing. Like where I work, we certainly all have our pet projects, and it's not like your pet projects are like making a better ham sandwich.
yeah,
They're using the technologies that you use on a daily basis to do things that, like, you see a goal in, but maybe the company doesn't see a goal in. So the way it works is Google is, if you develop something, eventually they have sort of like these pitches where if you build something that you think is worth the company's time, you can pitch it, and they might pick it up and fund the project and turn it into something like Gmail.
Sounds awesome.
yeah. It's called Blue Sky. Apparently, that's the initiative within Apple. There. Sorry, Bobby's asking in the chat room. Because he said something about like Blue Skynet, so I don't know. Oh, Blue Skynet.
He's making a joke there, buddy.
I see where this is going. But I don't know. This is one of those things where I think you're going to see Apple become very un-Apple-like. I think it's inevitable outside of Steve Jobs. There's really, especially with guys like Scott Forstall just got booted out of the program.
Yeah, there was the whole remix. I mean, we're going to see the way that Apple has been run for the last, even the way that Apple was run under Steve Jobs, because like Steve Jobs was under the skeuomorphic design, which is like what you see in like Game Center is probably the worst example of it, where everything emulates something in reality, right? Like that weird felty look, or even the calendar look, which is like, it's cute, but as far as interface design goes, it's just considered awful, and it's something that we kind of put up with. And Johnny Ives has never liked skeuomorphic design, so everything has been changed around to the point where that kind of thing is going to stop, and a lot of things are going to change as a result of the mix-up at Apple last week, I think.
Speaking of mix-ups, this was actually breaking today. And again, I didn't have a chance to put it in in the.
Well, then how are we supposed to talk about it?
Well, then I'm going to put it out there, and you guys can go Google an article.
No.
As I try to remember the fellow's name that just got ousted from Microsoft.
It should already
I'm
be
gonna
there.
dig it.
Sarnofsky, right? Steven Sarnofsky, who is the head of the Windows division, who just put out a freaking Windows 8 less than 2 weeks ago.
He called it Metro. It was time for him to go.
Mojave.
I don't know much about this. I know I was hearing that this is still kind of breaking. So what's going on?
I tried to use Bing on my phone and it started to get hot.
Wow. But still, that's got to be a big thing. I guess this is one of those guys that was kind of a polarizing figure in Microsoft. That people, I guess, a lot of key people kind of left Microsoft or went to other divisions because of him. But still, this is the guy that's kind of responsible for Windows kind of recovering from Vista, you could say.
Yeah.
And the kind of big change we're seeing with the whole Live Tiles, Metro, whatever you want to call it, interface going on. He's kind of the spearheader of that. It really is kind of an odd time. Or is it that it's out the door so they don't really need him anymore? That they can make a change like this? I don't know. 2 weeks out from it being released, and you boot the guy from the Windows division. Seems a little odd to me.
Well, I mean, once the product's out, like, it's not like, basically once the product is released, he is then ideally in charge of either future releases or maintaining the current release. And this just means that, like, his entire team was not happy with him.
Mm-hmm.
Mutiny.
And it's extremely possible, because even though you can say that, you know, he pushed for the Tiles interface, it could have been that his team pushed for the Tiles interface and he just happened to champion that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not necessarily responsible for the way that Windows 8 looks on the like actual idea churning side, but he is responsible for that idea surviving in the upper hierarchy of Microsoft.
Interesting. A lot of mix-ups lately. It'll be interesting to see where they go with this stuff. So, yeah. So that's all I had lined up for this week. Did anything pop up that you guys wanted to talk about before we head out of here, Rob?
I really hate LA a lot.
Yeah, how was that trip?
That smog thing that they talk about, they're not kidding.
That's a real thing?
That's a real thing. And the traffic, yeah, they're not exaggerating at all.
Ugh.
It's as bad as they say it is.
Wow.
So no one should ever want to go to LA ever.
Correct.
Like, why would anybody go there as a tourist? It seems like you've been bamboozled by a travel company
Hollywood?
at that point. Hollywood?
Yeah, Hollywood. I mean, I was right outside of Beverly
Is Hollywood
Hills.
even like Hollywood? I mean,
It's Hollywood.
it's Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
not
place
there.
for a certain kind of person, and I'm not that person. I'm also not the kind of person to go on a cruise ship. I feel like the same person who goes to LA for fun would love to go on a cruise ship. To be fair, I've been on 3 cruise ships.
Ooh.
I've always tried wrapping my head around that cruise ship, because I always hear about, like, the Mac cruise, which would be interesting, like a bunch of geeks together on a cruise going. I think they went to Australia this year.
No, that wouldn't be cool.
Everyone would,
I've been trying to figure if that
no
would
one
be
would talk
cool.
to each other.
Everyone would be indoors, sending tweets.
Lots of sunscreen.
Yeah, that would probably be pretty weird. I mean, it's so,
Yeah.
Like,
What about
allure of
the
cruise, right? Is that you're basically in a giant hotel that you can never leave.
With bad water.
Yeah, with like bad water and cramped quarters, and you have to put up with everybody around you, and the food is never particularly good. And usually when it says like all expenses paid, they mean like, P.S. you're footing the bill for your alcohol, but everything else is covered, which is why the food is bad. So like I could see going to like, I'm a fan of the idea of like an Arctic cruise, like an Alaskan cruise, I guess, or something like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be cool because it's stuff you like never get a chance to see. And
I want to pet a whale.
Tom Bobbitt
that
and
kind of stuff. But I went to like Jamaica and St. Martin and St. Thomas and all that nonsense, and I'd forget that, man.
Tom Bobbitt said hundreds of pale people hiding from the equator sun.
I feel like a nerd cruise is hilarious because you get a shot of the top deck and there's nobody there.
or it's a ton of people outside on laptops or tablets.
It sounds like they do this cruise in a mix with everybody else. Well, I'm gonna try to bring it up
With a Love Boat theme.
There's like this whole other cruise going on. Oh, on forums, Mac Cruise. Anyone going on a Mac Cruise? It's got to be a site for this, right?
There's got to be pictures of it so we can see what it looks like.
InsightCruises.com. Here, let's try to bring
Their
this up.
PR is going to be a bunch of people having fun.
GeekCruises.com I just found.
The only cruise that I would probably want to go on is the
Joko one.
Yeah, the Joko
Jonathan
Crazy Cruise.
Yeah,
And that's all like Jonathan Colton and
itinerary.
like nerd music. So
I think now this has got to be a different one because this one's going from like Tampa to Key West to
Well, there's a bunch of
Costa Maya.
nerd cruises or geek cruises or whatever. Like I know Leo Laporte goes on like several per year or something.
Yeah, he's currently on. That's why it's kind of at the top of my mind because I think he's currently 2 weeks away at the one in Australia, like around there. So
I want to do pod camp on a boat.
we actually started talking about this when we were drinking Saturday night there.
Tom also said, so the geeks are below deck. Seems sort of like sort of Titanic to me.
Yeah, they're dancing. No, they're not dancing.
Well, they're dancing, playing their fiddle.
Playing their fiddle, playing some
Dance Revolution.
Playing some Dance Dance Revolution. There you go. You just replace that scene with some Dance Dance Revolution on a boat.
Yeah, I mean that's there's usually a pretty good arcade on a cruise ship.
Ooh, I mean that'd be worth it.
Just a cruise ship arcade, period.
I played a lot of air hockey. I was into that.
What'd you do? I played air hockey on a boat.
Played air hockey, and I was introduced to Red Bull floats.
Oh,
What is that?
It's basically if you like the taste of Red Bull, which I do, and it's just Red Bull and vanilla ice cream, and it's amazing.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get me some ice cream and some wings.
I think we should try those right now.
I'll be up for the next couple of days. That'll be tremendous. Wow, yeah, here you go.
Land party as the boat sinks.
I'm looking at this one. Let's see. This is the MacMania 5 seminars. What do they do on these cruises? Here's what they do. Sunday, October 29th, Introduction to Digital Photography track. This is PodCamp. Introduced to Shooting RAW.
We're doing it wrong.
iPhone 6 and Photoshop Elements 4 workflow. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, iDVD and iMovie. Amazingly cool utilities, photography, a lot of photography. File sharing 101.
Hated it.
Really? Mac Gems. 10 things that every Mac user should try. That's experimentative there. Leo Laporte's personal podcasting primer. A Unix guide to OS X. I want to learn Unix
On a cruise.
on a cruise in Australia.
Those are the people that will pay to go on it.
A non-geek's introduction to open source. Then why are you here? Wow. Apple script fundamentals, pod add-ons. Really?
It is PodCamp.
It does sound like if we made like PodCamp like an Apple-only thing and did it on a boat.
On a boat.
I mean, seriously, there is.
I feel like this cruise appeals to like neckbeards that have way too much money, which is an interesting niche.
And they're doing well with it, apparently.
Yeah. Sure.
So, ground floor guide to Mac. Oh, here's all the descriptions for everything, and yeah, and there's not as wow. This is what's blowing my mind because there's not even as many sessions here as there are at PodCamp.
What's it cost? Let's hear the final numbers on
Looks
this.
what from the other page I was on. I think it's here right here. Starts at convenience fee of $7.95, which includes all courses, course materials, and Bon Voyage cocktail party.
Woo.
Yeah. So yeah, it starts around $800. It looks like. Actually, that might just be for this stuff. I think like then you pay for the cruise.
Yeah, I think it's $800 for like the event, and then the rest is for the cruise.
Oh, here we go. Cruise prices vary from $79.99 for an inside stateroom to $21.99 for a full suite per person.
So you're dropping $3,000 for the course and the suite.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fit in those little rooms.
For those attending the conference, there is so I could just go on the cruise. I'm just also paying for the conference.
Yep.
Wow.
5 times.
Dumb.
It's cheaper.
Taxes are $83 per person. Wow. So Mac cruises.
Yeah.
Pod cruise. Well, it would be Pod Cruise Pittsburgh. I was saying we just get one of those Gateway Clippers.
You know why?
Majestic.
I could never go on one, or I should never go on one of these
Why?
cruises, because I'd end up in my room for like a week playing video games
So why don't we do a video game one?
and getting motion sickness.
There you go. Not just from the first-person shooters. Wow, why not do a video game one of these? Are there? Hold on, video game cruises. Video game cruises. This is going to get something else, isn't
Add
it?
cruise to anything.
Carnival Video Arcade. That's not right. Video game cosplay cruise.
Anthrocon cruise?
Wait.
Furry cruises.
Furry cruises. I bet there's furry cruises.
Oh,
All right,
hold on.
let's wrap this up.
Furry
Yeah, this is
cruises.
probably not on.
2013. What the hell?
We
This-
missed this one.
Furrycruise.com.
We missed this year's already?
Oh man.
December 2nd, 6 days, 7 nights. Woohoo!
All right, let's. We're done.
I'm forwarding this to Mikey and Big Bob.
Say good night, Mike.
Good night,
Good night, Mike.
Good night,
All right,
Mike.
guys. That's this has been AwesomeCast, and next week will be the Furry Cast. Apparently, I can't talk anymore. So, Chachi, can you give the outro?
Hey, you can get in touch with us at contact@awesomecast.com or on Twitter @awesomecast. We have a website. It's kind of broken, so when that comes back up, we'll let you know. You can bookmark it though, awesomecast.com. And yeah, so Rob, do you have anything you want to announce going on?
I'm tooting some things for my company as of recent.
Nice.
So we're in the process of filing trademark to get our Twitter handle because something or other is squatting our actual name, but we are Ion_tank at the moment. So if you want to see pictures and videos of fancy things and blinking lights, you should check that out.
This guy's got a funny name.
All right.
Yeah, he does.
And Mike, anything?
Well, just gonna get ready for the weekend. Hope Big Ben's okay.
You got anything to plug you're working on?
I'm just doing a lot of work right now, doing some developing. Met with a guy tonight that does that. What was that program that he works with? Wellnessprogram.org. Sounds pretty interesting. I'm going to get involved in some holistic healing.
Good. Glad to hear that came out. I don't know how much I can say about it yet, so I wasn't going
Well, it's kind of ironic because with my background in pharmacy, I actually gave my master's thesis was about homeopathic therapy, and it's kind of why I am where I am right now. None of the pharmacists want to work with somebody who thinks they're a homeopath.
That might be an extended problem. Anyways, I'm at Sorgatron.com, SorgatronMedia.com, at Sorgatron on the Twitters. I've been doing some blogging last week. I tried to do the No Blow Blow Me.
That came out really bad.
I'm just going to say I take one day a week, write a lot of stuff, and post it. I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know when that's going to be yet.
Who cares?
But I just... Thanks, Chach.
Hey.
How's your writing going?
Yeah.
What's up?
Not about that.
What's up?
Yeah.
How's your writing on
Hey.
any site?
Right there.
Right there. Yeah?
His typewriter's
Okay.
at an end.
Either way, thank you. Oh, God, I'm glad I don't do the next podcast because I need a rest on the voice. Thank you very much to our awesome chat room. You guys have been rolling all night with us here. What's up, Tom Bobbitt, Bobby F. J. Town, and Brother Sorg, and John Harris joining us as usual as well. Thank you, our awesome chat room. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week.